Hello, students. Today we're going to learn about our last simple machine. This is simple machine number 6. It is the pulley. And we know that simple machines are any kind of a tool that makes work easier. All right, so here we have a couple of pictures of pulleys. So a pulley is a wheel with a rope, like a cord or a cable, around the wheel. So up here we have a little picture. There is the wheel, and then there's the rope or the cord. All right, and down here there's the wheel, and this one has multiple ropes coming off of it. So pulleys can change the direction of a force. So you can see in this picture, as the person is pulling on the rope, the object is going up. So same with this one, we're pulling it, and then the object is kind of being pushed up. Pulleys make it easier to lift heavy loads. The more pulleys you use, the easier it is to lift objects. By using many pulleys, Archimedes was able to move a ship all by himself with the help of a bunch of pulleys. All right, so we're going to read a story today. It's called Pull, Lift, Lower, a book about pulleys. Workers are busy at a construction site. A gigantic crane lifts heavy metal beams into the air. A hook at the end of a strong cable grabs onto the beams. The cable runs up through a pulley on the crane's long arm. The crane pulls the cable through the pulley. A pulley is a simple machine. A simple machine is anything that helps people do work. Work can mean lifting heavy loads or moving things up and down. And there we can see he is using a pulley to lift up some hay. A pulley uses a wheel and a rope or cable. So again, there's the wheel, there's the rope or the cable. The rope wraps around the wheel. When the rope is pulled at one end, the wheel helps lift the rope on the other end. Pulleys help us lift objects that would normally be too heavy to move. Window blinds. Open the window blinds, pull down on the cord, and the blinds rise, letting sunlight into the room. If you release or lift up the cord, the blinds lower back down. Window blinds use a pulley. The cord wraps around a small wheel at the top. Oh, it looks like there's even some little teeth there, sort of like a gear. The tiny pulley can help lift or lower the blinds into place. So take a look around your house to see if you have any of these window blinds that use a pulley. Flag poles. Outside the school building, a flag is attached to a long rope. When one end of the rope is pulled down, the other end lifts the flag to the top of the tall pole. The flagpole uses a pulley to raise the flag to the top, where it flutters and flaps in the wind. So there is the little wheel at the top, and there's the rope or the cord. As you pull down, the flag goes up. Now, when you use more than one pulley, that has a special name. It's called a block and tackle. It's kind of a fun phrase. Some pulleys use more than one wheel. More wheels make a load easier to lift. A block and tackle is a combination of several wheels and ropes that work together. So when you have more than one wheel, those are called a block and tackle. Moving heavy sails. Block and tackle is used to hoist or lift heavy sails on a sailboat. The ropes that lift and lower sails are called halyards. Using a block and tackle, one person can lift a sail that weighs twice as much as a grown adult. So these sails on a sailboat are often made with really heavy canvas material that would be quite heavy to move. Elevators. Step inside an elevator and push a button. Swoosh! The elevator car moves you smoothly up or down the elevator shaft. Powerful metal pulleys lift and lower the elevator cars. When you push a button, a hidden motor pulls on a steel cable attached to the elevator car. The cables and wheels of the pulleys help you reach your floor. So this is kind of showing us inside of a building what that pulley would look like. So there are the wheels and the ropes. Now there's some different classes of pulleys, kind of like when we studied about levers, and there were 3 classes of levers. A first class pulley uses a wheel that stays in one place. The pulley's rope moves up and down, and the wheel turns around a point called the axle. Oh, we know about that. There's the axle. The axle on a first class pulley never moves. It helps keep the wheels steady. A first class pulley helps people pull a bucket of water up a deep well. People all over the world use this type of pulley. And this is also called a fixed pulley, where it just stays in one place there. Up, up, up rise the heavy metal beams. The powerful crane uses its pulley to move large equipment and supplies. Pulleys help the world keep moving. So you've probably seen these big cranes at construction sites and buildings. They're really powerful pulleys that help move very heavy steel beams around. All right, here are a few fun facts. The wheel on a pulley usually has a narrow channel along the middle, like a little groove. This channel is called a groove. The groove helps keep the rope from slipping off the pulley's wheel. The pole of a flagpole is also called a staff or mast. Sometimes flags are used to honor people who have died. The flag is not raised to the very top. Instead, the flag is said to fly at half mast. So if you ever see a flagpole with the flag that's only halfway up, it probably means that they are doing that to honor someone who's passed away or like a special holiday. If the cable on an elevator car is accidentally cut, the car will not fall. So in an elevator, kind of the place where you go into the elevator is called the car. The car will not fall. That only happens in movies. Small gears attached to the car will grab hold of the sides of the shaft. This will keep the car from dropping to the bottom of the elevator shaft. So if you're ever in an elevator, you can rest assured, don't have to worry, it's not going to just fall to the bottom. We have safety precautions in place. All right, here is a picture. I just thought this was neat. Another example of a pulley is used like in rescue vehicles, like a helicopter here. We can see it has a pulley, and this can be lowered down to sort of rescue people that are like if they fell off a boat or if there was a boat that was on fire or something, kind of a rescue vehicles or helicopters can use those to keep people safe. And let's see, this is talking a little bit more about we can have a fixed pulley or a movable pulley. And the more pulleys we have, the less work we have to do. I'm going to go on to, so there's our single pulley. That's the simplest kind of pulley. And it can be fixed or movable. Let's see, and it says down below here, we used to use pulleys to till the soil to get the soil ready for planting crops. Let's see, here on the right side, there's a few more examples of some single pulleys, like a clothesline, flagpole we've talked about, curtains or window blinds. Let's see. Sometimes today we have kind of a combination of pulleys, and those are called compound pulleys. So combining multiple pulleys can greatly increase the mechanical advantage they give. So that just means the more you have, it makes it easier to do something. And often you'll see a series of pulleys on like a sailboat. And so that one looks like it's on a boat. Other places we might see pulleys. Well, if you were to kind of look inside a car, you might see that there's something called a drive belt. So car engines use a special type of pulley called a drive belt. A belt is a band of rubber wrapped tightly around several pulley wheels. When one wheel turns, the belt turns as well. This transfers the power from that wheel to the others connected to the belt. And then you may have heard of this other kind of pulley. It's called a winch. Winches are used in many construction sites and machine shops. They can be attached to cranes or to the ceiling of a building. Winches use many pulleys at once in order to lift very heavy objects. Winches lift everything from motors to steel beams. All right, a little bit of history. So pulleys have been used for thousands of years. There are stories that come from ancient Mesopotamia that talk about pulleys being used to lift jars of water as early as 1500 BC. So that would be like 3,500 years ago. Let's see, pulleys also have been used in the construction of many tall structures throughout history, like the Colosseum in Rome and the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris, France. Let's see, pulleys are very important in sailing ships. So again, they would use them for sails and kind of holding the sails and raising and lowering the sails. Here's a picture of an ancient pulley being used to move heavy stones. And then over here on the right side, our buddy Archimedes. So more than 2,000 years ago, a scientist named Archimedes discovered a great deal about how simple machines work. And we know about that because we've talked about Archimedes, and he had something to say about each of the simple machines, I think. And he found that if he used pulleys properly, he could lift nearly any object. So remember, he was the one who said if he had a lever long enough, he could move the earth. Well, here Archimedes wrote to a Greek king, and he told him about his discoveries about simple machines. And the king had a large ship that he knew would be difficult to move. So he asked Archimedes to move it. So before Archimedes tried to move it, though, this king loaded the ship with lots of heavy objects. And Archimedes set to work making a system of many pulleys. All the pulleys working together had a great mechanical advantage. Archimedes was able to lift and move the ship as easily as if it were sailing on the ocean. So with many pulleys together, he was able to move this large ship. Alrighty, if we were in class right now, we would take some notes about pulleys, and we would write about how pulleys are wheels with a rope around them, a rope or a cable or a cord. And pulleys make it easier to lift heavy objects, also called loads. And pulleys change the direction of a force. The more pulleys you use, the easier it is to do work. And Archimedes was able to move a ship by himself using lots of pulleys. And there's a little picture of our pulley. It's a wheel with a kind of a groove in it so that the rope doesn't slip off. Then you have a rope, a cable, or a cord. And then you pull, you use the force of pull, and then the heavy object comes off the ground. So a few examples. Here we have a crane. There is some rigging on a sailboat. So kind of all the pulleys and ropes and things like that are sometimes called rigging. We also have a pulley. Looks like they're moving a sort of a miniature version of the Statue of Liberty there with this kind of a pulley. And then a curtain or sort of blinds that we've talked about. And to review, so a pulley is a wheel with a rope, cord, cable around it. Pulleys change the direction of a force. They make it easier to lift heavy loads. The more pulleys you use, the easier it is to lift objects. And as we heard about, Archimedes was able to move a large ship all by himself, well, with the help of many pulleys. All right, I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about pulleys today. Take a look around your home, your neighborhood, as you are out and about. See if you can spot pulleys and how they help make work easier.